Hi everybody. I'm sorry, I don't know why, I think I have the startings of a cold or just some really bad. I don't like feet. My cameraman likes to put his yucky little toes all over the place, and his feet are always cold. Not that I like warm feet. I definitely don't like cold feet.
I like your feet.
What?
I like your feet.
I wouldn't. I don't like my feet. If they weren't needed for walking, I would detach them. I don't like feet.
Thank you for joining our family.
We're happy you're here. My husband just handed me the camera, so I assume he has something to say.
She's mad at me.
I am not.
Mad at me.
I'm really not, though. So if you're insecure and you're mad at yourself, don't put that on me.
Everyone knows you're mad, though. You just literally told him you didn't want to talk to him.
No, you just randomly handed me the camera and I didn't have anything to say. So I assumed you did.
I gave my wife a poisonous hot dog.
That was my knuckles cracking. Sorry, guys.
Now she's dying and she hates me.
I do not. So apparently he used to work at this place where he was involved in the, hiring and firing process, if you will. And it's just, we went to Costco to do some shopping and to get some lunch, and anyone who he has ever had a bad experience with in life decided to shop that day. So he was like, we need to leave. And so we left. And he claims he has a headache.
I do, though.
Do you really? Because, I'm trying to decide if you're bullshitting.
I actually do. Why does Costco food, I'm sorry, if I'm downing you, Costco, please sponsor us, and I will never say another bad thing. We shop there all the time.
We really do.
It gives me a headache, and I almost can think of, because there's so much, sodium in there.
It really does, actually. He's actually not being facetious or anything. The food always gives me headaches, too, so he's actually not lying. I'm just messing with him.
So I'm sorry, we're going recording Costco. It's another car video. Yay! That's my fault. I for some reason, it just was not ready for social anxiety today. Doesn't help that they saw me and they're giving me the finger.
They were not. Now that is over dramatic. He's being over dramatic. He's dreaming this up. They may or may not have given him a second glance or a second thought, but he was not going to be able to be in the moment and enjoy our shopping trip, so we left.
And then she completely went quiet, and then she's been snapping at me the entire trip.
I am not. That's not true. That is not true.
She won't admit it.
That's not true. I'm really not mad. And I haven't been snapping. Tell them the truth. I have not been snapping at you.
A little bit.
You are dreaming. You're delusional, and I'm over it.
And now we start seeing the real her.
Oh my gosh, you're unreasonable. Everyone knows that you're the bad spouse in this relationship.
Trying to be good. Sorry.
Trying doesn't always lead to success.
How do you know?
Because I'm the wifey and I get to judge that.
That's a horrible life lesson for kids. Actually, it's pretty true.
I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm thankful that you were honest enough with me to express that you were feeling uncomfortable, and that I know that sometimes it's hard for guys to express their emotions. So I'm thankful that you shared with me that you were feeling uncomfortable. Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too. I do love him. like there's sunlight. Oh, double chin. Excuse me. Isn't it bright?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna say bye for now because there's an awful glare. Bye.
You don't beat me. Okay, let's get back on subject.
What was the subject of the day, honey boo?
We promised them a PCOS update.
A PCOS update. Okay. So, I've been back from my trip for about, just over 2 weeks maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Not shocking. I feel like we've been together a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so, and if anyone has watched my last PCOS update, they'll remember my story of trauma trying to get my birth control in Florida and how that was a fiasco. And I said to myself, well, as soon as I get home, everything will go back to normal and I'll never have this problem again. Well, I did not knock on wood, and I spoke too soon because I went to go refill my birth control prescription at our local pharmacy that we use here in Oregon, and what happened? I can't even.
So apparently, for 2016, our insurance updated a lot of their policies, and they did not give us any heads up. And I have no idea where to even know to check that kind of stuff, or that we were supposed to check it ahead of time. But I guess they stopped carrying. They stopped covering. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The brand name type stuff, which is what the doctor prescribed, and they're like, we can't fill this, and they want us to pay $200 for it, and we're like, we don't have money.
We didn't budget for that. That wasn't supposed to be, something we were supposed to set aside.
Yeah, and the thing is, we actually budget pretty good, to the T. And $200 was quite a bit.
That was not something right now that we could, accept a monthly charge on if it was avoidable.
You're right.
So, what we ended up finding out is that if we went to a generic, it would be covered.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, when my doctor wrote the original prescription, he specifically wrote as is. So the pharmacy could not take it upon themselves to give me a generic.
Yeah.
Because the doctor specifically stated that he wanted me to be on what I was on. The birth control brand. So then our next step was to go to our little medical center, medical hospital, medical place.
Yeah. 911 hospital.
To go to the office of my doctor, and he wasn't there, so we ended up just having to, tell our little story to the front desk lady, who was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy, if you're watching this. Probably not, but just in case.
My wife had a mental breakdown in front of her.
She was really awesome and very sweet.
It was so wonderful. She literally just went to the desk and she's like, how can I help you? Explosion.
I need my pills.
And you're so perfect and just smiling, and then cracked. I'm sorry, I make way too much fun of her on camera.
Yeah, you do.
But I just wish I had it on camera. Even if it's just for me. Just for me.
You're so rude.
It was so awesome. And of course I was just right there being no, it's okay, we'll be fine. I'll just buy the pills. And you're just no, we have stuff planned, and then we're going to see Lion King on ice.
It's not on ice, but it is on Broadway, and I told him I was not willing to give up my Broadway show. Don't touch me with your feet to pay for these pills. But anyway, so long story short, even though this is a very, very, very long story, lasting very long, is that I told my story to Wendy. She passed on the information, got a couple calls throughout the day asking different questions, would we be willing to fill it at a different pharmacy, blah, 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 yada, yada. Just different little things, getting my approval. And so, didn't get a call back from them for a couple hours all of a sudden. So I called back and said, it's getting late. These places are, going to close. I need my pills. What can I do? And so the lady that I talked to said, oh, it was sent over to Rite Aid. To the pharmacy. And I was like, okay, so I don't think we went. I called and was like, do you have something under this name, under my name? And They were like, no, nothing was sent. And so I was like, okay, well, the doctor, or like the lady just told me that something was sent.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had to call back the doctor's office, and I got a different lady that answered the phone and said, someone just told me that I had pills sent over to Rite Aid, but Rite Aid said they weren't there. And then that lady was like, oh, we never sent anything, we're still waiting on approval from the insurance, so I don't know who or why would have told you that. And I was like, seriously, this is getting nowhere quickly. And yeah, it ended up being a long, drawn out process.
Sorry.
Of which I missed a day of my birth control.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I wasn't too concerned about. Like, if we, you know what I mean? Like, we are trying to get pregnant, so if that happened by accident, I would be overjoyed. But, you know, like, the doctor has us on this regimen and these instructions for a reason, and I'm trying to follow them, you know, to the T. So that was why I was kind of emotional that I missed a day, because I'd kind of taken pride in, like, you know, remembering to take my pills and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it was just a little bit disheartening. So then the next day I woke up, waited until about a half hour after they opened so that they could have the doctor's office, so that they could have time to do what they needed to do. Called them and been like, I just want to ask for an update, you know, and they were like, it got sent to Rite Aid for sure. So finally, we went to Rite Aid, got the pills, and everything was yay.
Well, we went and got the pills, but, like, they said that the insurance didn't cover it. Mm-hmm. You remember that?
Yeah, I just didn't know how long of a story they wanted to hear, so I was just going to leave that part out and skip to the happy ending.
No, this is now my turn.
Okay.
This is now my turn.
I hold the camera.
Okay. I have no idea what you're about to see. We're cleaning up our area.
I'm actually cleaning, sorry guys. I was in here, like, I got, like, an old moving box or whatever, like, to throw trash in so I could take it out to the trash can.
How my wife cleans and she makes it 100 times worse.
And then it gets better.
Yeah, she does get, like, a lot better. But not before she makes it, like, 100 times worse, and I can't walk.
There's a system to my madness.
I don't think there is. I think she just, like, wings it, and she doesn't stop until it finally works. Look at this. Hey, you said you don't like feet. Don't be a dick. Sorry, I'm trying not to say that as much.
I know it's hard for you.
Whenever we have a kid, the first word they're going to be out of their mouth is dick.
I'll give you a foot rub.
No foot videos, okay? Unless you want to go down that avenue.
Okay, tell your story, you freakazoid.
There's websites for it.
Tell your story, you freakazoid.
Okay, so we went there and they were like, okay, yeah, your insurance was declined. Do you have anything to, like, pay for it with? And I'm like, no. Insurance. We got that. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to adjust one more time, just in case if we made a mistake. At which point, I literally started, like, trying to figure out how we're going to pay this. Because even for the generic, it's like, what, 180 or 150?
It was like 180, 140. So, like, there wasn't really a big difference between the two.
So we're just like, okay. We were able to get, like, this little benefit card that my whole family has that, like, will cover 75% of the cost. Which was going to be really nice. So I ran back to get that, and as we got there, they're like, oh, we just, like, finished your stuff, and your insurance went through.
Yay!
And I was done. I know I should have been, like, so happy, but, like, it's one thing after another. We've had trouble with, like, the bank the last week. We have had just, like, so many different things that, like, popped up that just made me want to go on a little rampage. I was done.
Yeah.
And I was just ready to, like, be like, whatever, just, like, give us birth control. Here's the money.
The end.
Yes.
So, that is not a good angle. Anyways, so I started the new birth control, and I truly believe that there is, like, a different set of ingredients in it. Because, you know, like, I've been on it for the last 2 months, like, it shouldn't be making me sick.
Yeah.
But the first couple days, and I've only been on it for, like, 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
I was really sick, and like I don't know if it was just a coincidence because we did have a stomach bug going through here, or if it was my stomach adjusting to the new pill ingredients. So I don't know. And the metformin, every time I take it, I've been dedicated to taking it actively and as I'm supposed to, instructionally, to the instruction, but like that always makes my stomach sick. So like I know that like I always have to make sure that, you know, when I take it in the evening and when I take it in the morning, that like we're not going to go driving, like, you know, at least a half hour after I take it, because my stomach's always going to hurt. So that takes a little bit of adjustment. But anyway, so we have our ultrasound scheduled for February 17th. I believe, I have to confirm that. To see if, you know, our doctor's regime, instructions have done what they're supposed to do. And then we'll hopefully meet with him in person at the beginning of March. So I'm hoping that we won't have to wait from the ultrasound to the appointment to find out how it went. We might have to, but I'm hoping not. I'm hoping I'll hear something. But we'll just have to see. So we're excited. Not too much of an update, but
I think that's
we're moving forward.
I think that's a pretty big update. I mean, this is the last month of 3 months of birth control. I mean, next step is like talking to Dr. Adler.
Shh. Are we allowed to say that?
I'll believe that.
Okay.
Okay. Starting over.
Sorry.
So next step is like talking with the doctor. Going from there and seeing like what we need to do. We started to make some huge changes, like with how we eat. And of course, we're trying to exercise more. I think we've been doing good. We've been seeing a lot of changes.
Okay. Well, thank you for positivity. Oh, I had my first, I don't know if this is gross or not, but for anyone who wants to know, like, the whole story, I had my first, like, natural menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, I wanted to shoot myself. And, like, I'm not even kidding. It was, like, the actual bleeding was only, like, 3 or 4 days. But as my body, like, prepared for that to happen, like, I was so sick. So, like, so once I started, like, the placebo birth control pills that are, like, supposed to make you bleed, like, for 3 days, I was having, like, some serious PMS. And I was so sick. So sick. Vomiting, diarrhea, all of it. And then I bled for 4 days, and I just wanted to die. So that was pretty hard. That's kind of rehashing, like, old memories. Like, I've always, like, being a PCOS sufferer, like, even on birth control, like, the only thing that birth control does is, like, lets you know, like, when it's gonna happen and, like, shrinks the time length, but it's still not any easier. Like, it hurts a lot.
It does.
Like, Midol wasn't helping, like, nothing was helping. I tried hot water bottles. I was so sick I could not eat for, like a couple days. It's like everything I was putting in me was either...
Stop thinking about it.
Thank you for joining our family.
We're happy you're here. I think it's time for us to go to bed. Night, everybody.
Good night.